Double disqualification at the United States Grand Prix. We know our championship four going into the last race of the NASCAR season and who we think is going to take home the title. All that and more on the Flag to Flag podcast.
Welcome to episode 12 of the Flag to Flag podcast, a Halloween episode. We're recording this on Halloween night, October 31st, 2023. This is John, the motorsport enthusiast, with my lovely co-host who is drinking some Prime right now, Mr. Chad Barker. Chad, how are you today on this Halloween Eve, or Halloween night, rather?
I'm good. I think I'm going to dress up and go dorm to dorm with a trash bag or a pillowcase and go trick or treat. I will take literally any food that you have.
I don't know if you're going to be getting food.
I don't know, but what do you got? You got anything planned for tonight?
Watching a Halloween movie. Like we're
okay.
We're
you think you're gonna get any? You think you're gonna get any trick or treaters?
We typically don't. So we're on a not to say busy road, but like we are completely secluded by trees except for the driveway. So there's like a subdivision to our left.
So you don't have any neighbors or anything?
Well, I have a neighbor to my right, but it's like it's not like there's like other houses like across the street, like. Literally across the street is another subdivision. So I'm
probably gonna I'm gonna come pick you up this weekend for the 400 on Friday just to see your house. Okay. All right, that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, how was your past 2 weekends?
Past 2 weekends, good.
We were both extremely busy.
Yes, we were. Week. We were both very busy. Let's see what happened last week.
You were doing a lot of stuff with your with Vol Media, your amazing company.
Thank you.
Me, I was I had a test to study for. I had a lot of school stuff, and then I got a little sick over the weekend, and but yeah, I was starting to feel a bit better. Saturday night, went out, had some fun with some buddies, and then yeah, came back home, felt a little sick again on Monday, but yeah, I'm feeling better now. I'll say this: if you're a local short track fan, especially in the asphalt scene, and you were looking at some of the racing we had these past 2 weekends, was insane. Especially the Cars Pro Late Model Tour race at Tri-County. Holy crap!
Good.
It was an amazing. Did you see the clips from that?
Did not see any clips.
I will show you the clips after this.
Send some over.
It was pretty amazing. But before we get into it, this weekend,
that's it.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. One of my favorite weekends of the year, All-American 400 weekend at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Should this be like number one on the holiday list? Because you said your favorite holiday was the Daytona holiday, which is basically the Daytona 500.
I did say Daytona Day was one of my favorite holidays, yeah. This is up there, It's Friday night, which if you come out Friday night, you're going to see some fantastic racing on the quarter mile, as well as me and John. I know my way around there. I've been going there for years. John, it'll be his very first time, which will be really cool. The Super and Pro Late models are going to be practicing that night. Then we're going to have the Bandoleros, front wheel drives, pure stocks, street stocks, 2 legend car divisions, and a limited late model division. Going to be very exciting to see that. Saturday night, we're going to have Vors Compact front wheel drive series. We're going to have the CRA street stocks, and then we're going to have the Pro Late Model Championship for the Nashville Fairgrounds. And then on Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Time, I'm going to be there. We have the All-American 400. We've got some huge names that are going to be in that race. William Swalich, Ty Majeski. And if you're a big short track fan, of course we got people like Derek Thorne, Bubba Pollard, Nasty Stephen Nassie. And it's going to be a great weekend. John, unfortunately, is only going to be there Friday.
Okay.
Because he's going. So he's going to be there Friday, which, in my opinion, some of the best racing is on the quarter mile.
Exactly.
Saturday, he is going to the University of Tennessee game. University of Tennessee. Got my hat.
Go Vols. GBF.
Yes, go Vols. And then I don't know how to feel about this. Sunday, he is not going to be there.
I'm not going to be there for a very good reason.
For the first time since 2015, John has a driver in the Championship 4 who he is very much cheering for. And if you've been listening to our previous podcasts, you know that his favorite driver is...
William fucking Byron.
William Byron. And it is looking pretty good for him.
It is.
We're going to talk more about that as we head on out throughout the episode. But yeah, let's dive right into this.
William Byron.
There you go. We'll get to that. We'll get to who we would like to win, who we think is going to win, because for me, I've got two different answers there. But yeah, I have two different answers for who I want.
There's only one right answer. You know the right answer.
and I think one of the two is going to be the right answer. But
Yeah,
let's get right into this. Looking in the world of IndyCar, we've got a little bit of news. Thursday,
Yep.
Tom Bloomquist to run a limited sports car schedule in 2024. So really interesting to see. We saw a bunch of IndyCar guys go and race a few IMSA races at Road Atlanta a few weeks back. Really cool to see them and how they're performing. Also on Thursday of last week, Will Power and Linus Lundqvist have a tire test for Firestone at Milwaukee, and we got a few clips from there, so that was really cool to see.
Yep.
The cars go around there. Today, it says today. I said today as in Monday, which is when we were planning on
Monday,
filming.
yeah. Yep.
But we all got caught up doing stuff. Ray Hall Litterman Langen Racing announces that Haas F1 reserve and test driver Pietro Fittipaldi will drive for the team in 2024 whilst also competing in the FIA World Endurance Championship.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That is really cool.
Do you know what car he's going to be driving in the WEC?
I do not. I tried to look into that, but I didn't. While you're looking that up, Wednesday of this week, Rasmussen to race a limited schedule in 2024 for Ed Carpenter Racing. How this guy does not have a full seat for next year amazes me. He dominated the Indy Next Series. Dominated it this past year. How does he not have a ride? You know, I know it boils down to cash is king, okay? But when you're getting to that level, you got to look at some talent, all right? I think this will be good to get his feet wet, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a full schedule in 2025 for him.
Yep. So, going back to the previous statement you made about Fittipaldi, he's going to be driving for Hertz Team Jada. So he's going to be driving for that team. Pretty good 2023 season.
Oh, yeah.
2 races, 1 win. So in the LMP2 division. So pretty cool to see. So that's going to be good for his experience on that side. But I don't know how, going back to what you said, I don't know he didn't have a full-time right. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of fantastic talent, but when you look at the numbers in the Indy Next Series, it's pretty clear who the most dominant driver was, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, let's look at the Formula One. Formula One last weekend was in Austin, and this weekend they were in Mexico. So here are some of the support races. F1 Academy wrapped up their inaugural season at Circuit of the America. They had 3 races out there. The first race of the 3, third place, Lena Bueller. Second place, Abby Pulling. First place, Marta Garcia. In the second race, Jessica Edgar came home third. Second place, Lena Bueller came home second. And with the win, Hamda Al-Kwabasi came home with the win. In the third race, Marta Garcia came home third. Second place went to Nera Marty, and first place Jessica Edgar. And the first ever Formula One Academy champion is Marta Garcia. Congratulations to her on a fantastic season.
And if you don't know what the F1 Academy is, really quick, if you don't know what the F1 Academy is, because a lot of people may not know, it is the female-only single-seater championship series.
World Championship, yeah.
By
kind of like Formula, or what was it? What was it? W Series, like the W Series.
Yeah. It's basically
kind of like what that was.
But it's pretty cool. 15 drivers. You know, it's great to have that, you know, as a series, just for
just
having that on the slate of things going on. So congratulations to Marta Garcia for becoming the champion on the inaugural season.
Yeah.
That's pretty big news. So,
Masters
going on the
Historic
list.
Racing, which I looked up some videos of these guys, and if you haven't seen these guys, it's really cool to watch. It's literally just old rich dudes with old Formula One cars just having fun. It's really what it is. They had 2 races at COTA. Third place, Steven Brooks in the first race. Second place, Charles Neerberg, and first place,
I'm looking
first
at
place, Cal Meeker. You were highlighting our page.
I was not I was copying. Copy and paste, bro. Copy and paste.
Second race, third place, Charles Neerberg. Second place, Mike Cantillon, and coming home with the win once again, Cal Meeker. Porsche Carrera Cup North America also had just 1 race there. Alex Sedgwick came home third. Tom Sargent, wonder if there's any correlation there, came home second. And coming home first, Riley Dickinson. So, yeah, you want to jump into the sprint race now for Austin?
Yeah, let's go into Formula One. Sprint races happen a couple times a season, obviously, and going back 2 weekends ago for F1, Austin was a sprint weekend. So Verstappen and Leclerc led the field in the sprint, and so you had a couple penalties going wrong, a while for Russell. Lance Stroll retired on 17, but as he always does, Verstappen won the race. He won the sprint with Hamilton in second and Leclerc in third, which is a very big note to mention, obviously, going into the Austin weekend. And, that's 2 weekends ago. We know that, fast forward to the Grand Prix, Max Verstappen got his 50th win at COTA, Hamilton in second, Norris in third, Leclerc in fourth. But you had a disqualification.
Sunday night, it was released that Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc were disqualified after post-race inspection revealed that both cars' skid plates were not within regulation. This moves both of them to the back of the running order and puts Norris in second, Carlos Sainz in third. Also with these disqualification, Logan Sargent gets his first points in Formula One and becomes the first American driver in 30 years to score F1 points. I can hear the American Eagle screeching.
100%.
And
let's go.
That was really cool to see. So the skid plates, if you're ever watching Formula One, especially at night, they produce a lot of sparks. And a lot of people think it's actually. Let me grab my Formula One car over here.
Oh, there we go.
My little toy Formula One. I'll be right back.
So the skid plate is wood, and it is something that every car has. They've had it for many, many years. Chad's about to explain it.
So, what did you say?
No, let's talk about the skid plate, like what it was, really quick.
Yeah. So, it's kind of hard to see on here. You can kind of see it. This is a 1/43rd scale car. This is Checo Perez's 134. But you can kind of see it on the bottom right there. It's got some holes in it that's not actually there. But a lot of people think that is the skid plate. It's not. The skid plates are on the very front of that, what looks to be a wooden beam on the back of the car. And that's what makes the impact. However, that has to be a certain thickness by the end of the race. And I believe that's a bit of a ride height thing, because the lower the car is to the ground, the faster the car is. So they were deemed to be taking too much worn or too small. And before we kind of move on from that, I want to say one thing. Social media blew up after this, as it always does. But do you want to know 2 people who didn't argue or refute the disqualification at all?
Wonder who it is.
Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc,
yeah.
all right? They were like, okay, because here's the thing, and here's what I don't think a lot of people realize. Every team, every car, in every form of motorsports is cheating. They are cheating. It's a matter of who's getting away with it, and there are a few things where you might have a little bit of wiggle room and you might really stress that wiggle room. All right? But when they find something like this, they do it. And that's why when it was announced, they were like, all right, you got us. We'll take it.
Yep.
They took it on the chin. They're like, okay, move on to the next race weekend. All right. But social media was just blowing up over this, and it was mainly. I love everyone. I love everyone who watches racing, but there is one particular group that I cringe. That's the word I'm looking for. I cringe a little bit. And do you know who they are? You could be classified as one of these. A little bit. DTS fans.
Well, yeah, that.
Now, you were a racing fan
Correct.
beforehand. Me, I was a Formula One fan
Correct.
before Drive to Survive came out. Drive to Survive makes so much drama within Formula One.
Oh
that's
yeah,
not even
we talked about that.
All right.
In previous episodes.
And
that's why I don't like it a lot.
We have, and I will guarantee you this: we are going to talk about it again in future episodes because it's what it is, and just the mindset behind it is, yes. I'm not saying this is only Formula One. We saw it last year in Pocono when Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. got disqualified at Pocono. We saw if it ever happens in IndyCar, I'm sure we'd ever see it. We'd see it there too. But it's just like, I don't know. To me, it's very vibrant. That's the word. Vibrant in Formula One social media with how just people react to it. Because I'm like, look, this is racing. Everyone is cheating. And I would go too far to say that every team in sports is cheating to a certain extent. All right?
Bold claim. Bold claim.
Bold
claim.
Huh? I would say, we see it. You see it all the time. In racing, you see it a lot because there's a lot more. There's a lot of room for innovation. Okay, and in racing, there is a very, 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 very fine line between innovating and cheating. Most people, and I'm kind of on the side of this. It's innovating until you get caught, then it's cheating.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. You got the rest of the $4.98.
Great. Wow, that's the rest of the podcast. No. So I think it's one of those things. It's one of those things. It happens, if you're upset by it, okay, great. Yeah, it sucks for both of them because they've been on hot streaks recently. But, it happens. The one thing I would have to say though is
it happens a lot more than people think, especially on the local racing scale. A bit of it is them really not knowing that they're cheating.
Yeah.
Other part of it is just some tracks lack actual tech supplies.
So, you never know. But I think, with it, it's one of those things, yes, we all know. They try to get away with so much stuff. The big question that I had, or the big, not issue, but the big kind of, thought that went through my mind when this was going through is we learned that they also tested 2 other cars. And they didn't come back as negative when it comes to the skid plate. My question is, you have 50% of your sample size test as cheating, essentially, and get DQ'd. I think this could have been a situation where they could have done a little bit deeper of a dive into each of the cars and figure out who actually was cheating, because this is one of the first times this year we saw 2 DQs for the same issue in the same race. I think the investigation could have been a little bit deeper and figure out,
last time we saw something like this was Pocono last year at NASCAR with the big clear piece of tape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why not test? It can happen. You can test the whole field. You can test the whole field. It takes I looked up. It takes about 30 minutes. So if you test the whole field, you're looking at about 6. Nope. Well, because 2 cars were down. They already tested another 2. So an additional 8 hours because it takes 30 minutes. So you could have done it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So with me personally, with my personal experiences is most tracks do something like this or something similar to this. They say if you place in the top 5, go to pit road. If you place in the top 3, if you place in the top 3, go to tech. If you place 4th or 5th, go to pit road and wait. That way, if they find a discretion between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, then 4th place is there, and then if one of those is, and then if another one, then 5th place is there. Okay, so that's kind of how they do it. With what I'm used to, what they'll do is they have 2 parts of the check. They have what they check every race, which is stuff like weight, ride height, wheelbase, stuff like that. This is what I'm used to, especially with the legend cars. Then they have what the one-off stuff is, and it's every week it's something different, you know? One week they might check your drive shaft. The next week they might check your brake drum. The next week they might check your shock. Then the following week they might check your shocks again.
Yeah.
You know? You never truly know. And that's really kind of how it is. And I don't know. I've never been to a technical inspection for NASCAR, for IndyCar, for Formula One. But I would imagine that it's at least for NASCAR, it's a little bit similar because, yeah, you know, and I'm pretty sure all cars go through a pre and post race inspection. Top 3, 4, 5 might have a more in-depth one, but yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is all these teams are trying to do everything they can to catch up to Red Bull.
Yep.
And they're pushing the limits. They're pushing the limits of their cars. They're pushing the limits of their drivers. They're pushing the limits of the rule book. And that's racing. That's always been racing, and it always will be racing. So, yeah, let's move on to Mexico. Before in Mexico, we had the Formula 4 NACAM Championship, which is basically Mexico's Formula 4 Championship. In third place, we had Arturo Flores. In second place, Manuel Rosa. And coming home in the Formula 4 NACAM Championship race, Juan Felipe Pedraza. So congratulations to those top 3. And yeah, so something that I'm pretty sure you were very happy to see was a Ferrari front row for the Mexico Grand Prix.
Lockout. Yeah, it was great until turn 1.
Yeah, it was good. It was good for like that first second, and then
until Checo decided just to completely ruin his seat at Red Bull by pinching down Charles Leclerc.
I've looked at it both ways.
Yeah,
Perez could have had room. Perez did have room to move. Leclerc was sandwiched, but he was being really greedy with how far along he was. So I think it sucks, but I think it really boils down. I don't want to say it's a racing incident, but I think that's what it boils down to is a racing incident.
It more is because you could there was distance between Verstappen and Leclerc, and obviously Leclerc was trying to respect Verstappen's space. Here comes Perez with a run. Like this could have happened one of really 3 ways. Leclerc could have backed off. That's one. Leclerc could have kept on going and got closer to Verstappen, wrecked all 3 of them, because I think Checo would have kept on coming.
Then we would have had a race.
You know, because who came? Wait, so that would have been Hamilton. Possibly could have won because he finished on second. So there's that. And
after what happened the week beforehand, social media would have gone insane.
Oh, they would have been. Let me tell you this. So we're gonna rant about social media for a second. This
is coming from the man who has a business. What your company is, you give social media
advice. I create advice, like consulting. I can create content. I create social media strategies.
Helps companies with their social media platforms.
Correct.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
So this is more along the lines of what I see on my personal feed, my family and friends account. So with that account, I post some things. I don't really post often.
How many social media accounts do you have? Like on Instagram, for instance?
I guess technically 3. My personal, my business for myself, and then VA. So that's 3. And then the motorsport enthusiast, so 4.
Enthusiast, and then flag to flag.
And flag to flag. Yeah. So, and there's, whatever. Going to the whole point. So there's on my personal account that is private, unless you follow me, obviously. I go on there sometimes. I really don't do much on that. You know, it's weird. I don't scroll through my own feed. It's kind of weird. But what I did notice, once Lewis Hamilton started doing well, I saw all these people putting Lewis Hamilton in their stories. saying, "Oh, what a great P2. Oh, what a great podium. Oh, this, oh that." Where the hell were y'all earlier in the season? Are you bandwagon fans? I saw probably 5 different profiles that I've never seen them post anything related to F1, and then here they go, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine. If you're a true fan, great, but I focus on racing content, and when I see that, it obviously stands out. And these people I've never seen speak a word until Lewis Hamilton started doing well 2 weeks ago in Austin. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to if you're going to support the guy, support him, but don't be bandwagons and only support him when he's doing well. That's all I'm saying.
It's kind of like those. We saw a bunch of stuff similar when Tom Brady went from New England to Tampa Bay. They were like, you heard, we saw a bunch of people with bandwagoners and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, you're either, in my, there's 3 types of, there's 2 types of things. I don't want to say there's 3 types of racing fans, but this is what it is. So you either cheer for the driver, you cheer for the team, or you're doing what I'm doing right now with NASCAR, which is just watching it to have fun.
Right.
Now, my favorite team is Hendrick. I love Hendrick. I was a Chase Elliott fan for a little while. He kind of, I don't want to say he didn't do anything that made me mad, which that's a story for another time. That I got a little bit of a funny story with that. But yeah, I think we got better. I'm going to start cheering for Josh Berry next year.
100%.
Still probably going to cheer for Hendrick. Love cheering for Hendrick. But yeah, it does suck when you see that, people just want to only talk about the good stuff. They don't want to talk about the bad stuff. We see it all the time in social media on anything, okay? That's why a lot of people say social media can be unhealthy, because it looks like everyone's having such a great, happy, lavish life, but they're only posting the good stuff. You only see the stuff that, the good stuff, the good side of everything. You don't see all that other stuff, which, can be said about a lot of different things.
Correct.
But Formula One, social media, F1 Twitter strikes again. I swear, every time something like as soon as I heard, I got the message that they were disqualified, I made myself a bowl of popcorn and pulled up Formula One Twitter and
just waiting for people just to say, this is not
waiting
fair.
for it to start rolling it, yeah. But yeah, looking in the race was okay. I'd say it was about a kind of a bit of a not an average Formula One race, but it was a little bit better. We had some excitement, obviously. Incident happened in turn 1. A little bit of beating and banging, I'm a fan of.
100%.
But Max Verstappen takes home the win and breaks the record for the most races won in a single season with 16 wins.
Congrats to him. Just incredible. Incredible, dude.
Yes, without a doubt. The battle for second in the Drivers' Championship is now Perez, Hamilton, Sainz, Alonso, Norris, Leclerc, and Russell. Sergio Perez is at 240 points. Lewis Hamilton is at 220.
Yeah, it's close. After what happened, after his
and he was very much upset. He was very much upset, which I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I would be upset.
Yeah.
Sainz and let's see here. Sainz and Alonso are currently tied in points. So whoever finishes higher in the next race, or whoever finishes in the points, will take over that third spot. I think Hamilton might have a shot. Brazil might be a really good shot. I think Hamilton's best bets at taking third are Brazil and Las Vegas. He knows Brazil. He loves Brazil. Brazil loves Lewis Hamilton. It's a good track for him,
True.
Mercedes is good there too. And another reason is, we're going to a new track here in Formula One. And when it comes to new tracks, Lewis Hamilton is like Joey Logano.
Yes.
Go to a new track, he's a factor to win, And that what I think is what makes Lewis Hamilton, that's what I really think what makes Lewis Hamilton a really great driver, is because if you're able to go to a track, no notebook on it, no setup, no nothing, and make it and have a good competing car, that says a lot about you as a driver.
Sure.
Battle for second in the Constructors' Championship is between Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, and Aston Martin. Going to be interesting to see how that closes up here in the next few weeks. But yeah, any other words? Predictions for Brazil, you know?
I think it's going to be a good fight. I think that this is going to be another one of those races where the gap is starting to close in. I think this one you're going to start to see a little bit more. Vegas is 100%, all pun intended, or just roll the dice. You just gotta. I mean, it's there. It's a slot machine. Like, just you gotta play the cards at hand. That's 3 puns in 1 sentence. There we go.
I only picked up 2.
Roll the dice, slot machine.
Roll the
cards.
dice. Oh, slot. Okay,
Machine.
that was just.
It's a slot machine. Okay. Either way, the next 2 races you're going to see the gap close up. I think significantly. I mean, he left. Looking at what happened. Oh, he's gone. Looking at what happened this past couple weekends. Obviously, Mercedes and Ferrari are there. McLaren's kind of fallen back just a little bit, but you have seen Mercedes and Ferrari pick it up. Obviously, Ferrari's on a little bit of a momentum swing with both. There we go. There it is. It's a Las Vegas Grand Prix sweatshirt.
$70.
$70, he says, that he could be using for this weekend, but he didn't. He wasted his money on a T-shirt.
Okay. It was bought for me. It was bought
for him.
I want to make that very clear. Thank you so much to Ron Thomas of Race Driven Performance for buying this for me. Thank you very much. We had a flight similar to each other when I was in Vegas a few weekends ago. But it's cool, just $70. Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
There was a hoodie for $120. I said that thing better be made out of Kevlar because for $120, it better protect me if I get shot. All right? For a hoodie.
Folks, you're witnessing Chad being very upset about his sweatshirt and Formula One apparel. Come back next week when he's yelling about something else. But yes, that is the sweatshirt, and that is the shirt that he got for the Vegas Grand Prix. And what I was going to say on that note,
Viva Las Vegas!
The gap's going to close. I think that Vegas is going to be a big race for Mercedes and Ferrari. I think Brazil's going to be a big race for Mercedes with Hamilton. So going into this weekend, they're racing in Brazil. I'm expecting the unexpected. I made this prediction before. I don't think Verstappen is going to win. I know that's crazy. The last time I said this, a Ferrari won. Wasn't that correct?
Yes, I remember the text
message.
message.
Lewis Hamilton is going to win this weekend at Brazil.
That would be breaking what? A 40-odd something race winless streak.
It's been a while since Hamilton's won a race. But I think
it was Saudi Arabia 2021 was his last win. And then Abu Dhabi 21 happened. I wish every race could be like that. That was amazing to watch. Yeah, and then it was just downhill.
There's just been all downhill. But I'm thinking the last 2 weeks, I'm going to say he got a podium in Austin. Even if they did cheat, he did get a podium. Unofficially.
The skid thing, the only thing I can see that perfecting or affecting performance is ride height, which would bring the car closer to the ground and all. But even if a few millimeters are shaved off, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Now, if it's like an inch or two, yeah, that can make a difference.
You're talking different stuff there. So I'm predicting I'm going all out for this one. I think Lewis Hamilton's going to win in Brazil. Lock it in. Punch my ticket. I'm not going to bet on it.
You know what?
Say that.
I'm going to make a bold prediction, too.
Don't tell me that Logan Sargent's going to win. He's not.
I wish. That would be amazing to watch. But last year, we saw a driver get his very first win in Formula One, George Russell. This year, I predict another driver getting his very first win.
Are you...
He's been on the podium several times this year. The season started off really rough for him. And has been uphill battle, and they've been doing good. Lando Norris.
Let's go,
Lando. I would.
Yep.
That's one of the drivers where I don't cheer for him on a week-to-week basis, but if he wins, that's one of the ones I like to see. Like,
I think it'll be a battle between those three. I think, or the McLarens and the
because
Mercedes.
unlike
think
Las
about Ferrari,
Vegas,
though.
which we have in the week, these guys have a hefty notebook of this track.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So,
yeah. So,
Yeah.
that's our predictions. You pick Lando, I pick Lewis. The 2 L's. Let's hope we don't have any L's this weekend. That'd be very sad, and I'd be not on the podcast next week. If that happened. But I think
I wonder what that would be like, just one podcast. That might happen eventually. One of us just gets sick and be like, hey, you film it. That might happen. I don't know.
it'd be really quick. It'd be really quick. It'd be really efficient. You wouldn't interrupt me
Probably.
for 5 seconds.
Um,
And I wouldn't interrupt you. But other than that, Formula 1 wise,
yeah.
should be it. We
Got going to Brazil.
Race this weekend.
Got 3 races left. The fight for second is closing in. You know, we had a good fight for second last year. It was tied going into the last race of the season. That is kind of interesting. You know, last race of the year, 2021, the leaders are tied on points. Last race of the year, 2022, second place is tied on points. Right now, as it stands, third place is tied on points. That's
weird, yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I look
crazy.
at that kind of stuff. I think it's kind of cool. Now on to our local racing report. We're going to 2 tracks. Because
Ooh, double
because
header,
since we
nice.
missed last week. Last weekend being the 20th through the 22nd, I was in Las Vegas. However, they were racing in Elk Creek, Virginia at Elk Creek Dragway for the Super Pro division, the foot brake division, the Sportsman division, the Junior Dragster division, the Original Gear Jammers division, some of these names, Nostalgia A division, which is 1964 and older, Nostalgia B, which is 1965 to 1967, Nostalgia Second Chance, the 590s, and the 690s. So, here are your top 2 from all of those. Super Pro Division, second place, Bethany Cockram, and taking home the win in the Super Pro Division, Mike Sexton. Foot Brake Division, your runner-up, Teddy Tate, and taking home the win in the Foot Brake Division, George Harper. The DOT Sportsman Division, your runner-up, AJ Perry, and your winner, Will Willard. Will Willard.
Will Willard. Why would you do that to your child?
I wasn't gonna say it. I didn't want to say something like that. I was thinking it, but I'm like, yeah, you know, June.
That's like naming somebody John Johnson. Like what?
That
like,
would be
why?
funny.
Like, why?
That would be funny. Let's see here. Junior Dragsters runner up, Brayley Griffith, and your winner Landon Hash. Your Original Gear Jammers runner up, Jimmy Moore, and your winner Will Hull. Nostalgia A, 1964 and older division, your runner-up, Ryan Burdett, and your winner, Twink Smith. Twink Smith. Nostalgia B,
See, that's first.
1965 to 1970. Runner-up, Dale Cherry, and your winner, Michael Blevins. I think that's the same name as my teacher, my first session here at school. His last name was Blevins, but Nostalgia Second Chance race, runner-up, Alyssa Sutherland, and your winner, Roger Spencer. In the 590 division, we had Mike Sexton, and your winner, Gary Boyer. In the 690 division, we had George Harper coming home second, and the winner, Randy Richardson, taking home the win. Now, we are headed to Greenwood, Louisiana for Booth Hill Speedway. They had the American Racer USR limited mods out there, the Sunoco USRA factory stocks, the USRA tuners, the Sportsman, and the Pro mods, as well as the USRA modifieds in the American Racer Modified Series. So, your top 3 for these divisions in the USRA limited mods. Third place, Gregory Murhead. Second place, Derek Grigsby, and your winner, Cody Tupper. Interesting. A lot of these drivers are from Texas and Oklahoma, so there was a lot. For the American Racer USRA Limited Mods division, they had 43 entries for that division, and in the Factory Stocks division,
Wow.
they had 46 entries. So it must have been some good racing out there. Let's see here. They had a few B mains. Let's see. Now we're headed to the Sunoco USRA Factory Stocks. Third place, Jody Prince. Second place in the number 15X, Dakota Wyatt. And the number 1 and the number 9, John Parker Jr. Now going to USRA Tuners and the number in third place in the number 333L, Lane DuPont. Second place in the 7S, Brentley Smith. And taking home your win in the 29B, Brandon Herod. In the in the Sportsters, I thought it said Sportsman, Sportsters division, third place, 33D, Brayla Brown. Second place, 194, John McCune. And taking home your win in the Sportster division in the 62X machine, Joshua Warren. Pro Mod division, third place, 26, James Griffin. Second place in the 4X, Devin Richards. And taking home the win in the Pro Mods division in the 4V machine, Doug Vick Jr. And finally, the USRA Modifieds division, third place, number 12T, Tyler Townsend. Second place, 15W, Kale Westover. And taking home the USRA Modifieds feature win in the number 16 machine, Chris Hegan. Congratulations to all of them. If you would like your local short track shouted out on the Flag to Flag podcast, email flagtoflag10@gmail.com or hit us up on any of our social media platforms. Listen out for those at the end of the episode. And make sure you go out and support your local short track and bring a friend along as well. So, yeah, let's head into NASCAR. We got a lot of talk.
Let's get into it.
So, looking at NASCAR, where's my notes? Here it is. All right, so, for the Homestead Miami race, we have the NASCAR Youth Series racing at the American Quarter Midget Association for the Johnny Cash Classic in California. Grayson Rice picking up three championships. Sydney Stromoska picking up a win, as well as Bailey Lydon, Brody Leach, Emma Chorney, Hudson Johnson, Eli Black, Ryan Curry, Clay Maybach. That was the last round of their season, and here are your champions. I'm trying, John, I promise I'll get through all of these. I can't see you, but I know I can, and now I can see you.
Good.
You're just...
Keep it rolling.
I know. So,
keep it rolling.
In the Junior Honda division, this is your 2023 NASCAR Youth Series Western Championship points. Junior Honda, Tatum Talcott in the Junior Honda division. Senior Honda, Grayson Rice. Heavy Honda division, Emma Chorney. Junior 160 division, Hudson Johnson. Light 160 division, Grayson Rice. Heavy 160 division, Riley Allen. Junior Animal division, Hudson Johnson. Senior Animal division, Eli Black. Unrestricted Animal division, Ryan Curry. Light World Formula division, Grayson Ryan. And your Heavy World Formula division, Riley Allen. There was no championship for the Mod World Formulas this year due to a lack of cars. Arca West also raced at Mandurah Speedway last weekend. Third placed, Joey Lest. Second place, Todd Souza. And coming home with the Arca West win at Mandurah Speedway, Caden Honeycutt. They have their championship race this weekend as well at Phoenix International Raceway. Is that the name of it? Phoenix International Raceway? Phoenix Speedway? Phoenix Raceway, I don't know.
I think it's Phoenix Raceway.
Also racing this weekend. Also racing last weekend at Homestead were the Truck Series. Corey Heim took home stage 1 and 2, but it was Carson Hosefar taking home the win. In the Xfinity Series, we have... Oh, I'm clearing out my stuff here. In the Xfinity Series, we had Cole Custer taking home stage 1, Derek Kraus taking home stage 2, and Sam Mayer taking home the win in the Xfinity Series. Now looking at this past weekend in Martinsville, it was the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. Xfinity Series, Justin Allgaier took stage 1, Sammy Smith took home stage 2, and Justin Allgaier took home the win after a very exciting Xfinity Series race. I feel like the Xfinity Series Fall Martinsville race is one of the best races of the year for NASCAR.
It's incredible. It was incredible. And if you haven't watched it, you need to go and watch it because it was one of the craziest finishes we've seen at Martinsville in a race in a while. I mean, it was what we want.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Richard Childress had a rarely interesting day on Monday or yesterday.
Well,
do we want to
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit?
Let's talk about that. So if you didn't watch the Xfinity Series race
I
at
saw the highlights.
Martinsville, yeah. Well, the end of the race, Sheldon Creed was in a must-win situation, which means if you are in a must-win situation, if you mix out with Sheldon Creed, he doesn't care about what he's about to do. He doesn't care.
That is true. Sheldon Creed, he is one of the drivers who is very much, I'm going to get the job done and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it done.
Right. And so he basically just did what any other driver in that situation would do, rough up everybody around him. Why not? And he has to win. He hasn't. I
Yeah.
mean, he has to do what he has to do. I don't know if you saw this, but did you know that Richard Childress called him stupid?
I didn't see something directly from Richard Childress. I saw things that Richard Childress called Sheldon Creed. I did not see an interview where he said it. I did not see a post or
I didn't
anything.
either. I didn't either.
I did not see anything.
But
But yeah.
it was reported that he basically said his move was stupid, or he was stupid in some capacity. I think Sheldon Creed is nowhere in the wrong. I don't know about you.
Really interesting.
I mean, like,
I'm not
do
here.
what
I'm
you
not.
need to
I'm
do.
not agreeing,
Yeah.
nor am I disagreeing.
Like, you got to do what you got to do to win a race,
Well,
and to make yourself locked into a championship.
I want to
you
look
have
at.
to
I want to
do
look
it.
at this.
Okay.
What was Austin Hill? Where's Austin Hill in the playoffs? Did he even make it into the playoffs? Was
No,
he already
did
locked
not
into
make
the
it.
next round?
No, he did not make it at all.
Okay, so so if he's not even in the playoffs, then Austin Hill's job should be like what we've been seeing Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman do this year for Hendrick, is help your teammates along.
He was 7 to the bad. He was 7 to the bad. He was 7 to the bad going into the race. I believe
Austin
if he would have
Hill?
finished, yes, if he would have
Okay, so
finished,
Austin Hill's out too. I thought you said he didn't even make the playoffs at all.
Oh, no, Austin Hill was still in the playoffs. Going into the race, Austin Hill was -7 to the good before until he made it into the championship with Allgaier and Sam Mayer already locked in.
So did he get locked in through stage points?
Austin Hill going into the championship 4?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so let me guess, he was fourth. He was the one person above the line.
So it was Justin Allgaier,
Okay.
Sam Mayer,
Okay.
Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer.
So he
Those
was
are
he
the
was
five-
he,
those-
he
those
was
are the
he
five.
was to the bad.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
trying to. Well, no,
Both
I
of
think
these
it was-
drivers are fighting for a playoff spot.
Yes,
Okay.
Austin Hill was -7 after the race. I'm going
Okay.
to say that right
That's
now.
what I thought.
Yes. But go ahead.
Both of these drivers are fighting for a championship. Okay.
Right.
I've seen it happen so many different times. I've seen it everywhere we've seen it in the top of the Cup series, the top of the bop, the best, all the way down to recreational go-karts. I've seen it time and time again, all right? You're racing for the win, all right? Now, this win, like Austin Hill, probably just needed a good finish to make it into the next round.
I'm checking that right now. That's what I'm trying to look at.
Sheldon Creed needed a win. All right? And that he did what he had to do. You know, and I think I'm now that I'm hearing this, I think I'm on the side of you. I think that it's going to be I'm on the side of Sheldon Creed. He was doing what he had to do to, because I mean his job is to drive the car and to win races. That is his job.
Yeah.
He was doing that. Now I don't know if you saw the video of one of the RCR guys going up after the race and yelling at Austin Hill, or not Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed.
It was Andy Petrie from RCR.
I'm not 100%.
Yeah, it was Andy. When he
I'm
went up to the car,
not. I'm not sure where he
Sheldon
is.
Creed
Yeah.
was back against the car, sitting there by the window.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
Andy
not sure if
Petrie. That was
he's-
Andy Petrie that did it. Yeah.
Who is he in the RCR?
And Andy Petrie is the crew chief for
Austin Hill.
Yes.
Then that makes sense why he'd be upset.
I think. Andy Petrie, hold on. Oh, he's the vice president of competition at Richard Childress Racing.
So he was frustrated with him, but you never see this. You never see a team owner wearing one Primero driver's shirt. Yeah. All right? Joe Gibbs is a perfect example. All right? He has a shirt, and it has Joe Gibbs Racing on it. It also has the four main sponsors of his cars that day. All right? You need to support everyone. All right? Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Sheldon Creed, he said afterwards that if the roles were reversed, they wouldn't be saying anything. So that might be a little bit of teammate tension. We saw that last year with JGR and Brandon Jones.
Because Ty Gibbs completely sent Jones into the wall. I mean, just sent him.
And yes, it's a bit of a different situation. Yeah, but yeah. So that is interesting. But let's get into the Cup race here.
Yeah, Cup race. It was a Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney showdown for the entire race.
It definitely was.
And it was a race that, looking at it, had many playoff stories. Byron, not a good day. Busher, pretty good day. Hamlin did everything he could to make it in. If he won, he would have made it in, obviously. But even if he finished in second, it wouldn't have been worth anything in the total scheme of things, because Byron had him on points. Byron had a terrible day. I watched the whole thing. Terrible. Yeah. I mean, running north of 15th the entire day. Terrible adjustments.
And these are one of the tracks where we usually see Kyle Larson or William Byron really excel at, Kyle Larson, he has that dirt racing background where he can really see where one part of the track is really starting to develop more. William Byron, he's got the iRacing experience, which, I mean, within itself helps out a lot. Once you spend enough time on there, you learn a thing or two. So this was one of the tracks where we were expecting him to be good at.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. They unloaded bad.
Yeah. We predicted this round to be the William Byron round, and he barely squeaked through.
Right, he did. He barely squeaked through, and this race was, rough. It was rough, to say the least. Yeah. This round was rough for him, and looking into it, looking at the championship four that we have right now, obviously we have Blaney, Bell, Larson, and Byron. And Bell obviously was in through a win. Larson was in through a win. And, I mean, looking at the four out, it's kind of what we said, I believe. I thought Hamlin was going to be out. He did get out. Martin Truex Jr. out. Busher and Reddick both out. Busher and Reddick both needed a win to get in. Same thing with Truex. Truex also, just when he was up at the front, he had a good start of the race. But once he got to the back, he said he just couldn't get through it because the dirty air, it just was a terrible mid-pack car at best.
Oh, yeah.
And so Byron was the one that squeezed it in because Ryan Blaney brought home the win, and not only brought home the win, he dominated this race, Chad.
He really did. He really did. There was I wanted Ryan Blaney, I wanted him to finish second. And here's why. The news came out earlier this week that a Stewart Haas driver will not be returning to their seat in 2024. That being Eric Almirola. Now, I started off being an Eric Almirola fan mainly because he drove the number 10. That's it. But over time, and as I've really followed him on social media and seen him and watched interviews, I've actually grown to really like the driver. And he had a fast car. He had a great car. This is what and this is what it boils down to. And sometimes you have to raise your hands up and say this: Eric Almirola had a good car. Yep. Ryan Blaney had a better car. That's what it went down to, and it wasn't like it was a dirty pass or anything, and he was happy with it. I mean, that's the first time he's had a decent finish in a while for Eric Almirola. And I'm. Should we talk about the rumor?
We'll talk about
the 10 car next year.
So there's a driver that a lot of people think should be in the Cup Series. I'm one of those people. I think he should be in the Cup Series.
I'm one of those people. We first ever episode of the podcast. We talked
said
about
he
him.
may become the 2024 Cup Series championship. Now, so
I have a prediction.
I think the rumor is that this guy is going to come back. Who is that driver?
So from what I've seen, everything is done. The only thing it needs to be is released to the public. Apparently, there's been pen to paper. It's been signed. It's happening. We just need the official announcement. And it is going to the 10 car in 2024. It is a heavily predicted Noah Gragson is back.
One of your predictions here.
2024 Cup Series champion Noah
let me tell you something.
Gragson.
This is not the first time we've seen this.
Okay.
Who won a championship their first year back after being suspended?
That was the joke. That's what I'm saying. Kyle Larson, okay, does something he really shouldn't have done. Shouldn't have done it. All right. RCR kicks him to the curb. Goes out.
RCR
dominates.
He drove the 42 car. At the time, that was Chip Ganassi.
Chip Ganassi.
Was that Yates still? It wasn't Chip Ganassi Yates, was it? Was it just Chip Ganassi?
I think it was just Chip Ganassi. Because the following year, I'm pretty sure is when it went to Trackhouse. But 2020, all right, gets booted. Don't see him for the rest of the year. Dominates the dirt track world. Absolutely dominates the dirt track world in sprint cars. I mean, I think I saw a post during that time. All right. I think it went like chili bowl, salad bowl, toilet bowl, doesn't matter. Kyle Larson by 3 laps. I think that's what the thing said. It's announced during the offseason in between 2020 and 2021 that Kyle Larson is going to the powerhouse of NASCAR, being Hendrick Motorsports, who just came off of a championship in 2020 with Chase Elliott. Gets suspended, comes out of the gate swinging, wins Las Vegas, dominates the playoffs, wins 10 races that year, wins the 2021 championship. Noah Gragson is going to win at Vegas, get 10 wins, and will bring the first championship in a while to SHR.
2013 or is it 2013 or 2011 with Tony Stewart? It's one of the 2 years. I can't remember which one it is. Or 2014.
Harvick got it in like
right,
2014.
Right. Oh.
And I'll tell you right now.
I like numbers. Hold on,
I am here for it.
So Harvick won in 2014, correct? Next year's it'll be 10 years.
It'll be 10 years. In the 10 car! In the 10 car!
I'm telling you, bro. I love those situations. I love those numbers. So you heard it here first on the Flag to Flag podcast. Noah Gragson is the
Noah Gragson will be the champion.
He is the 20.
He is the champion.
So,
he is the champion.
Just imagine. Dude,
oh my god, I love.
We gotta stitch this.
Oh,
if
man,
that actually comes true, you know I'm gonna be putting some money on that. When the odds come out for next year, if his name's on that list.
If it comes. When I'll start thinking about putting money on it when we get into the playoffs next year, and once we start whittling it down, and I'll be like,
yeah,
I don't know, but if he makes it into the championship I'll put some money on it. I will put some. It'll be the first time in my life I've ever bet
after that
on
day,
racing.
it won't be your last. Well, I guess it might be. I don't know, but
it might be. But yeah, there's our little spastic moment for the episode.
Phoenix. We gotta talk about Phoenix, right?
Going in.
We got the championship.
Phoenix, yes. So I want to do. Here's what I want to do. I'm pulling up the NASCAR site right now, and I am basically going to tell you. We're going to do Trucks, Xfinity, Cup. All right. So going to the standings, Craftsman, playoff standings. All right. We started off with 10 drivers. All right. Matt DiBenedetto, unfortunately, was out. Matt Crafton was out in the first round. In the second round, the round of 8, Sanchez, Eckes, Majeski, and Zane Smith got eliminated. We are now in the Championship 4 going into Phoenix. Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar, Ben Rhodes, Grant Enfinger. Who you got? We've got a rookie.
Hocevar.
Yep,
Hocevar.
I have a good feeling.
Has the fight. He'll send it. He doesn't care.
He doesn't. I've got a friend here at school who, if that happens, she'll be very excited.
Oh, one of my good friends that I race with, Matt McComas, he loves Carson Hocevar, and we actually got to see him race at Bristol in the 42 car, which is a blast to see. Yeah. I am locking in Carson Hocevar to win the championship. I think he will win.
Remember, is that who? Okay, that's who you think is going to win. Who do you want to win?
Carson Hocevar.
Okay, I'm in the same boat. Kind of. I think Hocevar is going to take it. I would love to see either Corey Heim or Carson Hocevar take it. Just, I don't know, seeing a rookie win the championship, Lightning
cool.
McQueen story.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of cool. Let's move on now to the Xfinity Series playoffs.
Ooh.
Start off, round of 12. We had Hemrick, Parker Kligerman, unfortunately, Josh Berry, unfortunately, and Jeb Burton eliminated. Going into the round of 8, Austin Hill, Sammy Smith, Sheldon Creed, Chandler Smith eliminated. Now we're looking at the final 4 going into Phoenix. Sam Mayer, Justin Allgaier, John Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer.
Who you got? It's between 2 drivers, and it's tough. It's tough.
I think all 4 of them have a chance. I'm going to be honest. Well, maybe.
All 4 of them will have a chance until Sam Mayer decides to send it and wreck it everybody. But I'm joking.
Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think it's going to be?
Either Allgaier or Nemechek. Nemechek has had a ridiculous year. Allgaier has the consistent speed. Nemechek has the finishes. Sam Mayer has the young fight. Cole Custer has something to prove. You have 4 major storylines here, but
that's what I'm kind of going off of too.
I'm leaning. If I had to pick one, Nemechek. Yeah. I'm going Nemechek.
I'm going Nemechek or Custer.
Really? You think Custer can get it done? I mean, I think he has something to prove being demoted.
I think he's pissed. I think he's pissed.
Well, he made it into.
He lost his cup ride.
Yeah.
And he got pushed down to the lower level. And he's like, I want to prove myself. I want to show these guys that I can do this.
Sure.
I can do it. And he's been doing really well this year.
Yes.
Towards the later end of the season, we started seeing Sam Mayer start doing really well. We've got some fantastic storylines going into this race. So now the big show. We started this year with 36 to 42 of the world's best stock car drivers. And Joey Logano.
Joey Logano.
We whittled it down to the top 16 after 26 races. Logano, Harvick, Stenhouse, McDowell out in the first round. Round of 12, Chastain, Wallace, Keselowski, Busch out. Round of 8, Hamlin, Truex, Reddick, and Buescher out. We're now down to the championship 4. Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, William Byron. There is one driver who I think is going to win, and there is a different driver who I want to win.
Who are those picks?
I think it would be amazing to see Ryan Blaney win.
I agree.
He's a very humble, down-to-earth guy. One thing I like about him, which is his victory celebration. Have you ever noticed anything different about his victory celebration?
I know he typically doesn't like to do burnouts.
He doesn't like to do burnouts, and this is why. He said he had a crew chief one year, and the crew chief told him, "You don't see the winner of the Kentucky Derby get off his horse and start beating it up."
Yeah.
And I kind of have now, don't get me wrong. If I win the Cup championship, I'm burning it down.
Oh, 100%.
I don't care.
And that car's done.
I'm burning it down. Yeah. If he wins, probably going to see a burnout. wouldn't be surprised. But but who I think is gonna win? I'm leaning towards two drivers. One driver I am leaning towards more. William Byron, I have a good feeling about.
Yep, there we go.
I have a very good feeling about. Larson might have something.
Yeah.
But we saw it last year in the playoffs. We saw it a little bit this year in the playoffs. Christopher Bell might pull something out of his ass.
So I would agree. And this is why I say this. If you look at the results from this race in the spring, go ahead. What were you just saying?
I think Ryan Blaney is kind of the fourth most likely driver to win this race or to win the championship. Unfortunately, now who knows? Because here's what we've seen: is they have struggled in the past. Blaney has, but when they get it right, they get it right.
They start clicking.
We saw it at Martinsville. We saw it at Charlotte. All right, we see it a lot at super speedways. Yeah, and this track is notorious for whoever it basically comes out. Whoever has the best setup.
Yeah.
All right. We saw it with Joey Logano last year. He just walked away with it. You know, it wasn't really even that much of a fight or a competition. But yeah, go ahead.
So, as much as I would love to see William Byron win, there's another driver that is going to be a serious threat, and here's why. Looking at the results from Phoenix, Byron got the win. He was at the right place at the right time. Now, he did get the most bonus points. He led 64 laps. That doesn't mean he wasn't up front at all, but he was at the right place at the right time. He started
fastest car doesn't always win the race.
Started third. The guy who finished in second started eighth. Got 8 bonus points. That driver was Ryan Blaney. He led 0 laps. Again, right place at the right time. The most likely by mathematical perspectives and by data is the driver who finished in fourth in this race, who got 19 bonus points, who started on the pole and led 201 laps. That is Kyle Larson. Mathematically, it makes sense for Larson to win the championship. Now, again, keep in mind, there's another driver, Christopher Bell. He finished in 6th this race in the spring, started 5th, gained 12 bonus points. Here's what I'm seeing here. You have the championship 4 starting 1st, 3rd, 6th, and 8th in this spring race. They finished 1st, 2nd,
top 10,
4th, and 6th. Ridiculous.
Top 10.
So the way that I wanted to play out, I want it to be obviously a Hendrick driver. I want it to be William Byron. But if I'm taking all bias out of this, Kyle Larson has the best mathematical chance to win due to his experience. And I can't argue it. Like I'm gonna say I want Byron to win. I think Byron's gonna win. But if I want to go off of what I see here, I mean, getting the most bonus points, qualifying on the pole, and leading the most laps. Those 3 things means that you put together a complete race, and he finished in 4th. So it's tough to beat that. It's tough to beat the stats. But in this race, it's all about who finishes ahead. And Byron has been consistent at the right place at the right time. I'm still going to go Byron. I'm still going to go Byron because. But
I think we kind of have some interesting storylines here. You know, I think Kyle Larson definitely wants to get a second win or a second championship under his belt. You know, they say the first championship's the easiest. After that, it gets harder.
Yep.
You know, then you have
well, don't tell that to Max Verstappen.
You have William. then you have William Byron, who I feel like if he wins this championship, he will no longer be known as the iRacing driver.
100%. This is huge. I mean, like for him, his team. I mean, for the 24 legacy, for Hendrick to have 3 different drivers win a championship 3 out of 4 years, 2020, 2021, and then 2023. That's stupid. That's like that's dynasty locked.
And both of them have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. I mean, you're racing for Rick Hendrick, all right? The winningest team owner in NASCAR Cup Series history.
Yep.
All right?
The pressure's there.
And the pressure's there. And then we look at something like and then we look at William Byron and Ryan Blaney. or Christopher Bell, all right? Who, I'm not gonna lie, out of all the drivers, this is different this year. Last year, I would have said this. Last year for Joe Gibbs Racing, we had Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, then Christopher Bell on relevancy. Not a lot of people really, he wasn't a topic of discussion every now and then, all right? Ryan Blaney's kind of in that right now. Not as bad as Austin Cindric. How he still has the right, I don't know. But, hey, you win the Daytona 500, you get a seat for 3 years, I guess.
I mean, look at Austin Dillon.
I don't.
Huh? Look at Austin Dillon.
Oh, his granddad just owns the team.
I know.
Did I ever tell you I was at that race?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're kind of the drivers that they're not talked about a lot every week. Like someone like a Kyle Larson or a Denny Hamlin, where every week, sometimes more than others, in one way or another, they're talked about. They're factors. They're considered to be contenders at every racetrack. All right? You don't see that with William. You don't see that. We're seeing that a lot more with William Byron. You don't see that very much with Christopher Bell. We did see it a little bit more this year. You don't see it a lot with Ryan Blaney. So I feel like Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, and I feel like Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, William Byron, they've got something to prove, and Kyle Larson is trying to start his legacy, all right?
Yeah.
He's trying to,
2 and 4 years is pretty good. Pretty darn good.
2 and 4 years is pretty good. Yeah, it's stuff like that. I think we got an exciting race. I hope you enjoy watching it. I'm gonna be watching 30 plus of the best short track drivers in the country duke it out on my favorite racetrack in the entire world.
Yeah, it pains me that I can't go.
It
pains me that I can't go, seriously, because I've always wanted to go to the race.
We'll figure out. Well, I'm definitely going to this race next year, so we'll figure out next year, whenever that may be.
Let's hope it's not the same weekend. It's not the same weekend.
That was interesting this weekend because last year it was that race and then like a weekend later it was the 400. So it is interesting. For the first time in years. Actually, I'm not necessarily going to say that, but I'll say it. If it gets jinxed, I'll take the blame for it. But for the first time in a few years, the weather actually looks good for this weekend, which is nice. You're very excited about one car this weekend.
In Nashville?
NASCAR.
Oh, yeah, the 24. Whoa. Okay, you completely threw me for a loop. I thought we were still talking about... Anyways.
23.
Yes, so if you saw my video today, which I saw you commented, and I would agree it's stupid that they did this little...
Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? But no, here's what pisses me off even more is that Bubba Wallace read the script and it says, man tosses keys to him, and he was like, yeah, that sounds right.
We have keys in the Cup garage, 100%. Well, either way, there's been a collaboration between Columbia, who is the main sponsor for Bubba Wallace and the 2311 team and the 23 team, and Star Wars. They are releasing a Jedi-themed helmet, a Jedi-themed fire suit, as well as an X-Wing paint scheme for the Phoenix race. I never thought I would say this, but I'm going to be buying a Bubba Wallace diecast car coming next year when this thing gets released, because it's so cool. Like X-Wing, like Star Wars, like I hope they do something on the grid.
John,
I hope they do something on the grid. Maybe there's stormtroopers around. I don't know. It'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. John, I don't know if you're going to let me come back on the podcast after I say this, but
What?
I have not seen a single Star Wars movie. I think. Oh, okay.
So last week when I said that there was going to be one host on the podcast, I thought it was you that was going to be leaving. It's me. It's done. See ya.
Every week. All right. Thank you so much for listening to the Flag to Flag podcast. Make sure you hit us up on all of our social media accounts. John, you want to shout out social media or no?
Just follow Chad.
No.
It doesn't matter anymore.
All right. Flag to You know the social medias. I have to look it up.
Follow
You
us on
actually
all
know.
of our social media channels, even though if it's the only host that you get is Chad after this week, because I'm very disappointed in him. It's flag to flag _ podcast on Instagram, but everywhere else it is flag to flag podcast on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter that we need to start posting more on. I will not leave you, Chad. I promise I will not leave you. But you do have an assignment. You have to watch every single Star Wars movie before the next podcast. If not, then you're
Bro, that's like, I don't even know how many that is.
a lot. A lot. No. It's
My dad has watched a lot of them. I'll text him.
It's
but,
all good. It's a tie.
It is.
It's fine. I'll excuse it.
We'll call it even. You're not going to the 400. You're not going to the 400. I haven't seen a single Star Wars
I was
movie.
so
We'll call it
excited.
even.
Now you just ruined my day. So thanks, Chad.
That's a
No,
thing.
but,
Yeah. Oh my God, y'all have a fantastic
and
weekend.
we'll see who
everyone.
wins the championship this weekend. When we come back on the podcast next week, we'll discuss everything that happened in Formula One in Brazil. We'll discuss obviously the All-American 400 and the Cup Series championship. Hopefully William Byron brings him the win. If not, Chad, you may be doing the podcast by yourself next week anyways. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see all that. And then after that, we're mainly gonna have Formula One to talk about.
then we got
the
off-season, silly
off-season.
season stuff. That's where you can come in. So this is going to be clipped for social media, but if you have any ideas, if you have any topics, if you have any silly season fun, interesting discussions you want to hear us talk about, or just hear about us, doesn't matter. Email us at flagtoflag10@gmail.com or hit us up on any of our social media platforms that I mentioned before.
And-
we are looking for topics.
Local racing is all year round. There are multiple quarter midget and go-kart series that are all year, that are indoor racing, okay? I mean, and we're going to have some big shows like the Snowball Derby, the Chili Bowl. We're going to have some big shows to talk about coming up. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Make sure you go out to your local short track.
Alrighty. Peace out.
Peace.